Imagine living in an America where freedom stopped at the edge of your town. A time when distance was a prison. There were no highways cutting through the horizon, no road trips to the coast, no real way out. If cars existed, they went for people like you. They were toys for the ultra-rich. But then, a few machines changed everything forever. These aren't just stories about metal and rubber. These are the vehicles that literally constructed modern America. Stay till the end. Because the last car on this list didn't just change history. It's rewriting our future right now. 1908. Detroit, Michigan. A man named Henry Ford does something radical. See? Ford didn't invent the automobile. That had already been done. His genius was realizing that the car shouldn't be a luxury. It should be a tool. Before the Model T, a car cost as much as a house. After the Model T, it cost as much as a few months' salary. Henry Ford perfected the assembly line, turning the automobile into a commodity. He famously said, "Any customer can have a car painted any color that he wants, so long as it is black," because black paint dried the fastest. This cheap, reliable black box changed the very geography of the country. Suddenly, you didn't have to live next to the factory where you worked. The suburbs were born. The weekend getaway became a real thing for normal families. The Model T wasn't just a car, it was the physical key to middle-class freedom. By 1927, 15 million of them were on the road. America was officially moving. Just a quick pause if you're enjoying this dive into history. Tap that like button. It really helps this channel survive against the YouTube algorithm. While Ford was building cars for the masses, Cadillac decided to build a monument to power. We enter the 1930s. The Great Depression is hitting hard. But at the very top of society, a statement needed to be made. Enter the Cadillac V16. This car made absolutely no practical sense. 16 cylinders, it was expensive, excessive, and enormous. But that was the point. It wasn't transportation, it was dominus. The engine was designed not just for speed, but for silence. It was said you could balance a nickel on the engine block while it was running, and it wouldn't fall over. Before this, if you wanted true luxury, you bought European Rolls-Royce or Mercedes. The V16 changed that conversation. It proved American engineering could outclass the world. America wasn't copying Europe anymore. Europe was staring nervously at America. Then came the 1940s. The world caught fire. When America joined World War II, they didn't just send soldiers to Europe and the Pacific. They sent a mechanical goat. The Jeep Willys. General Eisenhower said it was one of the 3 tools that won the war. It was ugly, uncomfortable, and absolutely unstoppable. It went where tanks sank, and horses died. It climbed mountains, crossed jungles, and carried the wounded to safety. But something interesting happened when the war ended. The soldiers came home, and they missed their Jeeps. They realized this machine wasn't just for war, it was for exploration. The Jeep Willys birthed the entire concept of the SUV. It created off-roading culture. It taught Americans that the road didn't have to end where the pavement did. The adventure lifestyle started right here, in this little green metal box. The 1950s. America is smiling again. The economy is booming, and the highways are expanding. And the icon of this era, the Chevrolet Bel Air. Look at it. It wasn't particularly fast. It wasn't rare. It was optimism made of steel. The design was inspired by jet aircraft tail fins, and chrome meant to make you feel like you were flying into the future, even when you were just driving to the grocery store. This was the chariot of the American dream. It was the car families used to move into those new, sprawling suburbs. It's what you took on the Great American Road Trip on the newly built interstate highway system. The Bel Air defined what normal, successful American life was supposed to look like. Before we move to the rebellious 60s, I want to know your opinion in the comments below. Which decade produced the absolute best-looking cars? Then, everything changed in 1964. The kids who grew up in the back of those Bel Airs were now teenagers, and they were bored. Ford realized something. The youth market didn't want their dad's car. They wanted something that felt like them. Enter the Ford Mustang. It wasn't just a car. It was an attitude shift. It was cheap. It looked incredibly fast, even when standing still, and you could shove a big V8 engine into it. Young Americans finally had a voice, and it sounded like a roaring exhaust pipe. The Mustang single-handedly invented the pony car class and kicked off the golden age of muscle cars. Freedom was no longer just about moving to the suburbs. Freedom became loud, fast, and rebellious. But history didn't stop with muscle cars. For decades, the auto industry got complacent, until a startup from Silicon Valley decided to do the impossible. Before the Tesla Model S, electric cars were seen as glorified golf carts, slow, ugly, and compromising. The Model S shattered that perception overnight. It proved an electric car could be faster than a supercar, safer than a Volvo, and more desirable than a BMW. It forced the entire century-old automotive industry to pivot or face extinction. Just like the Model T 100 years prior, Tesla didn't invent the car, but it made the future inevitable. From dirt trails to electric we often look at cars as just appliances to get from A to B. But they are so much more than that. These 6 machines shaped America's cities, defined its culture, and fueled its economy. They carried soldiers to war. They carried families to new lives. They carried the dreams of rebellion and the promise of a cleaner future. Every generation of Americans has had that one car that defined who they were. If this video helped you see American history a little differently today, please hit that like button. If you love these kinds of forgotten automotive stories, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. And finally, tell me in the comments, of the 6 cars we discussed today, which one do you think had the single biggest impact on America? I'll be reading your answers down below. Thanks for watching.